Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
The US and Ukraine have signed a deal that will give Washington access to some of the war-torn country's natural resources. Months in the making, it sets up an investment fund that Ukraine hopes will cement US assistance as the country struggles to repel Russia after 3 years of invasion. The Ukrainians have now published the deal, and there have been public statements from both sides.
You don't have the cards.
Trump has previously demanded that Ukraine pay back the $350 billion of aid that he claims has been provided by the US during the war, a condition that Volodymyr Zelensky rejected. But Washington appears to have made a concession.
Today's agreement signals clearly to Russian leadership that the Trump administration is committed to a peace process centered on a free, sovereign, and prosperous Ukraine over the long term.
He has been looking to present this minerals deal as a success, and he can point to that as the way forward for the other promise he's made, which is to end the war.
49th Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Former Vice President Kamala Harris has criticized the Trump administration's agenda in her first major speech since losing the US election. Speaking at an event run by Emerge, a political organization that recruits and trains Democratic women to run for public office, she singled out the administration's handling of the economy and immigration policy.
Instead of an administration working to advance America's highest ideals, we are witnessing the wholesale abandonment of those ideals.
The estranged husband of a woman who served a poisonous mushroom lunch to her family says it was very rare for her to hold social gatherings at home. Simon Patterson was invited to the fatal meal prepared by Erin Patterson, but decided not to attend the day before. Mr. Patterson is the first witness in the trial of Mrs. Patterson, who is charged with the murder of 3 relatives and the attempted murder of another, with the case centering on a beef Wellington lunch at her house in July 2023. Ms. Patterson, aged 50, has pleaded not guilty, and her defense team says she panicked after unintentionally serving poison to family members she loved. A Kenyan member of parliament has been shot dead in the streets of the capital Nairobi by gunmen on a motorcycle in a suspected assassination. Police said the attackers had been trailing Charles Onongo Ware's vehicle before one of them got off the motorcycle and shot him at close range. Local media reported the opposition MP had 2 months ago complained about threats to his life. After the shooting, his driver and bodyguard, both unhurt, managed to rush the injured MP to Nairobi Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The authorities in the Democratic Republic of Congo are seeking to lift former President Joseph Kabila's immunity from prosecution after accusing him of backing rebels in the east. There was a substantial body of documents, testimony, and material facts linking Kabila to the M23 armed group, according to the Justice Minister, Constant Mutumba. The M23 currently controls parts of the mineral-rich east of the country after making significant advances earlier this year. Tesla has denied reports that it has contacted recruitment firms to launch a search for a replacement for Elon Musk as chief executive. The Wall Street Journal reported on Wednesday that the electric car firm's board began looking for a successor to Mr. Musk last month. It said this was because of frustration around Mr. Musk's focus on his job in US President Donald Trump's administration and Tesla's sinking share price.
6 irmãos, 7 over.
And the world's oldest person, Brazilian nun Sister Ina Canabaro Lucas, has died at the age of 116. Born on the 8th of June 1908 in the southern Brazilian state of Rio Grande do Sul, Ina Canabaro Lucas became a Catholic nun in her early 20s. Her family said she always celebrated her birthday with a cake in the shape of the football stadium of her beloved sport club Internacional. Sister Ina, who was blessed by Pope Francis in 2018, put her longevity down to her faith, saying that God is the secret to life. The title of the oldest living person will now pass to 115-year-old Ether Catterham from Surrey in England.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.